Hey, welcome to Hau's Housing Watch. This week, I've got more numbers for you that tell us exactly where we're going in Las Vegas, Nevada. Inventory is always the story. So if you're a buyer or if you're a seller, you really need to know these numbers that I have for you. It will be the best indicator for what is maybe your advantage or disadvantage going ahead. So I'm going to start right in. From the 6th through the 13th of November, this is the last 7 days. I'm going to start with new back on market and coming soon listings. These are listings that are, if you're a buyer, are coming to you. They are on the market. They are available to you. If you're a seller, this is your competition. Last week, we had 956 properties that came on the market. This week, we had 912. So we're seeing a slight drop in how many actual listings are coming on. That's been a bit of a trend that we haven't been moving up, but it has been staying very stable, still in the 900s territory each week. About 900 have been coming on, 900 and change. And so that leads us to what is going away from you. If you're a buyer, what is going under contract? If you're a seller, what homes near you are going under contract? Well, last week it was 622 that were under contract show, under contract no show, and contingent upon sale. Contingent upon sale typically means that there is a contingency to sell the home that the buyer has. They have to sell their home first, and then they can buy your property, but they're entering into a contract with you saying it's contingent on me selling my home. Okay, there were only 10 of those contingencies right now, by the way. It's a newer designation, so not a lot of agents are using it quite yet, but it is being used, and it does tell us if we see more and more contingencies happening, that would obviously mean that sellers are willing to take those contingencies. This week, we had 621, so a one property difference from last week. So staying very consistent throughout this week. That's what I'm going to say. We're seeing a lot of consistency throughout these numbers. The next numbers I'm going to go to are going to be price decreases and price increases. Last week, the sellers were out of their minds when they went and price increased 231 properties. Now, just for a little context here, 231 properties was like nearly 3 times as many as you would see in a typical week. So I don't know why that happened, but we got back down to normal-ish territory with only 87 price increases this last week. What was in the water last week? I don't know. But price decreases, which is very important to keep track of, have been staying around the 600 territory, and they were at 598 this week. Last week, it was 647, which was, it's been spiking up into that mid 600s and then dropped down a couple weeks ago to 600. And now this week, it's at 598. So we're staying relatively in the same numbers there, but elevated for sure. Price decreases, sellers are doing more of those at this time of year. They're trying to get their properties sold. Now moving on to what did sell. What did sell? Well, last week, 614 properties sold. This week, we had a big drop all the way down to 416 properties. This is what I thought I'd see more of, is less sales actually closing, less properties going under contract. But there are less sales closing here, but there have been a very stable amount of properties going under contract, all things considered, because we do have lower volume overall, but lower volume has been going on all year long as far as lower volume of sales. So Vegas is really holding up so well. It's incredible. And it's just because, well, I know you're watching this video, and like many other people, because you're coming to Las Vegas. Vegas is a destination for so many people in other areas that want to be comfortable with their mortgage payments. They want to be comfortable with their cost of living, and Vegas has represented that. So those that think that Vegas is going to go down the toilet and we're going to have a big crash, I just don't know. They've been saying that a long time. I don't see it coming. And if I do, you will know, because these numbers are going to tell us. They're going to be the first thing to tell us. This is not guessing, folks. This isn't saying that all these people are going to go into foreclosure or all these investors are going to start selling. This is saying what's happening right in the moment, okay? Now, I always add in luxury homes. Luxury has been moving up a little bit. Luxury has been extremely stable and had almost identical numbers every week. And when I say what were those identical numbers, it was 677 for multiple weeks. Exactly. For 4 weeks, we had 677. And then we started moving around a little bit. Last week, it was 681. And this week, we jumped up all the way up to 688. Doesn't sound like much, but when you're dealing with something that has been so stable, a little upward movement for the last couple of weeks is something of note. Okay, so we are seeing a little bit more inventory on the luxury market, but not by a lot. That's definitely a very tight area. Those luxury home sellers, those luxury homeowners are they're like holding the dam. They're holding the water up, and they're just not gonna allow for, unless people just start needing to sell like crazy, they're just not doing that. They're not going to sell these properties. It's really consistent. How many of those properties went under contingent status, which means how many went under contract? Last week was 130. This week was 131. So extremely consistent. Now, the final number, which is very, very important. We actually went down last week to 6120. We had been on an upward tick, a multi-week incline of numbers as far as how much inventory was actually on the market in total. It was 6120 last week, which meant it went down a little bit. And this week we go back up to 6215. Not a huge big jump, but nonetheless noteworthy, because it is where I think things should be going, which is we should be seeing more inventory on the market, but maybe not by a ton. Okay, so that's what I got for you this week, folks. I got a lot more coming on my prognostication. If you watched my prognostication last time, you know that I nailed some numbers really just right on the head. This is because I'm watching these numbers every week. I can tell you what's going to happen in the future just by watching every week what's happening right in the moment, okay? So this helps you too. I hope you're understanding everything I'm telling you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And I'm really always happy that you're watching. So please continue to subscribe, share my channel, or at least give me a like if you like what you're hearing. I appreciate everyone doing that. Check out the model homes for sale. Summerlin is running out of new property. I'm telling you now, we don't have a lot of property for sale up there, in particular new builds. And so if you're looking for something in that nature, I have these model homes that are for sale. So check those out on my channel and let me know if you want to see one of those properties. I know you're coming to town, so make sure I'm on your list to call ASAP and we'll get you going. I'm Rob Hau. I'm with Elite Realty. I'm all about houses and you. And when you're ready, now you know how to buy or sell a home in Las Vegas, Nevada. Last thing I need you to do. Last thing, I promise. This is it. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy your week.